This is the cringiest isekai anime this season, but not in a bad way. If anything, it adds to the comedic factor of the story, making it a really entertaining parody isekai anime. The Eminem and Shadow. Whoops, mistake. The Eminence and Shadow. Unfortunately, it's not getting as much recognition due to the obviously big names this season. Chainsaw Man, Bleach, you name it. I keep telling myself I'm done with watching this isekai genre of anime, but every damn time there's always something new that these anime studios just whip up, from the longest and most random light novel titles, like Reborn as a Vending Machine, Reincarnated as a Hot Spring, Reincarnated as a Succubus, Reincarnated as a Sword, which is also another isekai anime this season, and I always end up watching or reading said isekai content. Diagnose me with compulsive isekai disorder cause your boy needs some therapy. The best way I can describe the Eminence and Shadow is that it's a more serious version of Konosuba, which is another parody isekai. It follows the story of Minoru Kagenou, who's pretty much a teenage Batman. I'm Batman. He takes an intense amount of training, learning new skills, fighting styles to become as strong as possible. All of this while trying to blend in with the average folks during the day as a school kid, in which he will gladly do anything to make everyone around him, even his parents, happy and convince them he's just your average bloke. But at night he takes on gangs and bad guys and more bad guys with a crowbar. That is until my man, like all other isekai protagonists, gets slammed by Truck-kun. And then yeah, that's it. Roll credits. Or that's what the show wants you to think. What happens after that? Well, as a fellow isekai enthusiast, I think it's pretty obvious. Minoru Kagenou gets reborn in a different magical world as Sid Kagenou. But what makes this isekai anime special is the fact that it plays extremely well on the chunibyo trope and the own character's imagination. Quite literally. If you don't know what chunibyo is, it's the Japanese term for 8th grade syndrome. It's basically teenagers that have these delusions about having a grand purpose in life and secret powers and abilities to make them stand out from others. And well, Sid Kagenou uses that trope accidentally to his advantage, because the whole universe that he gets isekai to somehow makes his chunibyo and accidents into a reality.
そこだ。やべ、ずれた。
すべてつながる。シャドウ様、ご指摘のポイントに隠しアジトがあると思われます。
He knows he's bullshitting, but that bullshitting drives the narrative into reality, making him seem like he knows it all behind the scenes, even though at times he just pulls random facts out of thin air. Like the cursed magical blob he rescued and cured, who happened to be an elf girl. He makes up an entire origin story on the spot by referencing a fairy tale and text printed on a whiskey bottle that just happened to be there, to make him appear as if he's this secret person working from the shadows trying to stop a group of zealots known as the cult of Diablos, who also, according to his story, happened to be the enemy group that cursed her into that blob in the first place. And when she heard this, she swears his loyalty to him, and thus the organization by the name of Shadow Garden was born.
Shadow Garden.
But here's the twist. All of this ends up being true. All his blunders and mistakes and chunibyo style cool moments end up being true. Even the entirely fake origin story he made up on the spot, all true. And this is where I really got invested into the story. Aside from all the English, of course. Oh yeah, and literally Moonlight Sonata being played in the background. Honestly, a lot of the parts for this anime do end up really cool, especially the fight scenes. But once again, remembering that this was all once just made up makes it just as cringe in a funny way. It's like it's telling you to be serious one moment and then it's telling you not to be serious in the next moment. I love it. These elements of the story really makes this anime an awkwardly fun parody isekai that keeps on entertaining and obviously feeding my isekai addiction. And the ways he just keeps trying to oversell the fact that he's a background character gives me a good chuckle here and there. I'll leave it at that to not ruin the story, but hey, there's a lot of big animes this season, but if you do have a slot and you're looking for an entertaining isekai anime or just anime in general, this is it. Yeah, that's about it. Like and subscribe. Goodbye, bye bye, subscribe, peace.